Lorraine Smith here. I just want to give a quick update about some data that I have amended on the Danone Materiality assessment that went public in November of 2022, just a couple months ago. So I've got the slide open that I've changed, and you'll see I note in the bottom right here, it's possible I missed some disclosures. If so, please contact me. And I mentioned that in a few places where I basically say, I've done my best to gather publicly available information, but if anything seems missing or incorrect, I'd really love to hear about it. So imagine my delight when somebody let me know that indeed I had missed some data that is answering some of the questions here around the geographical breakdown of the employees, as well as of the sourcing or suppliers of Danone. So I want to just explain quickly what I updated and what I think it means in relation to the theme, and certainly welcome ongoing thoughts. So this is what the slide used to look like. Keep your eye on this little pie chart here, who works at Danone, where I've kind of just said I couldn't figure it out. So that's just a dummy pie chart there. And when I toggle to the updated slide, I have updated it with data. And there's a lot more that could be said here. The purpose of this particular theme in the deck was highlighting the difference between who creates the value of the company and who makes decisions or accrues the financial value of the company, and roughly breaking those geographic regions into US, Europe, and the UK versus rest of world. And I made those geographical categorizations just based on what was easily comparable in the disclosures that they had. Those are obviously pretty blunt categories, rest of world. But what was interesting to me when I was doing the assessment was that the institutional ownership, i.e. the sort of investors who are putting money in and gaining money from the company, are vast majority US, Europe, and the UK. And the sales by region are majority Europe and North America. That is almost a split, so lots of folks around the world are eating these products. But then in terms of who works there and who supplies the company, which to me, employees and suppliers are essentially those who create the value. They generate the worth and wealth of the company. And so I was trying to understand, well, if the vast majority are not from the rest of the world who own the company, but the majority of people creating the value are rest of the world, what does that mean? So anyways, I was pleased to have this data. I'll quickly explain where it came from and what it's saying to me. First of all, I updated the comments section or the slide notes. So this is all here. This link, if you click on it, goes to the Danone sustainability performance data. And I totally missed this. So, oh well, I'm very glad somebody added it in. And here we have what was sent to me was the exhaustive extra financial data. I like the word exhaustive here. So when you click on that, it takes you into this PDF, which has a lot of data. In particular, what I looked for and was guided to, thank you, stakeholder, for sending it to me, was the employee workforce, how it breaks down geographically. So here are those numbers I just took. That's 2021, this shaded column. And then I sorted it using, again, that US, Europe, UK, rest of world. I think the UK is still lumped in with Europe here. We could say a lot of things about that, but we won't. We'll just say I'm doing my best to lump this data. I think this is now an accurate grouping in that very blunt categorization. And my, back of the envelope pie chart there that was just speculative saying, don't know, was guessing that the majority of employees, those working to create the value of the company, are actually in the global north. But I was wrong when I look at how that breaks down. It's actually a vast majority of people creating the value of the company are in the global south. So if anything, that just highlights the ownership disconnect even more to me. And then on the suppliers, there is a lot of information in the exhaustive extra financial data. I'll just scroll to where the sourcing information is, or procurement as it's noted here. If I wasn't able to discern a gross number of ingredient, how it breaks down, there's a lot of information about where milk is sourced from, and they are essentially known as a dairy products company, although they're doing a lot in plant-based. See also the plant-based theme slide. So I could see the breakdown of milk, but of course they source many other products from some of their plant-based things like almonds and other sort of non-dairy milk ingredients, but then also flavors, right? Cocoa, vanilla, all kinds of additional food ingredients, sugar, etc. And then I also think of sourcing and procurement to include all the packaging, because of course that is a massive amount of what flows through the company. And then, as we saw in the recycling and pollution theme slide, that doesn't get taken into account, or it gets taken into account, but it doesn't go where I'd like to see it going. So all to say, this has been updated now. There's a link to much more data. I tried to make it clear where the update is. I am grateful for that additional information. And I mean, if anything, it doesn't, to me, radically change the outcome of my understanding of this theme. It kind of just underscores the point that the folks creating the value and really doing the bulk of the work for the company to have value and exist are not really the folks who are making decisions about the money, where it goes and who gets to keep it. Lots more we can say there, but just wanted to make sure you knew that there's more data here. I will do my best to keep things up to date. There's probably a point where it doesn't make sense anymore, but I'm glad to have filled in that hole. So thank you very much for checking in and seeing what's new. Bye for now.